Shalom, my bitches. Myand is here with NFY, bringing you something a little different. From the subreddit Shorty Stories, Avalanche by Driveling Divinity. Throughout the long journey, I find myself increasingly disinterested with the scenery, and more so entranced by the methodical kicking of a stone up the mountain's well-worn path. I have made this journey so often that the predictable sights hold no wonder. Instead, the monuments of the mountain grow tedious and almost taunting. Every time I travel up, the landscape is the same, like a repeating backdrop behind a stationary set. The stone, however, which moves so haphazardly after each meticulous kick, is worth seeing for the first time, and the second, and the 11th. No matter how used to kicking it I become, it still defies the laws of my own predictability. The stone keeps me company up the mountain. When I kick it softly, it follows close by, as if afraid to venture too far on its own. When I kick it hard, it catapults itself from my view, and in its absence, I fear that I might have lost it for good. I always come upon the stone again, though, and every time is like reconnecting with an old friend who has been scouting the path ahead of me all the while. There is nothing discernible about the stone, so there is no way to tell if the stone I continued to kick is the same stone I was compelled to move in the first place. However, as long as I do not look for fault, any stone will do, so long as it remains unpredictable. Now, the beauty of the mind is also its greatest fault. The more I kick the stone, the more I learn about the path it will take. Although I cannot exactly recall its movement as I can the passing scenery, I also cannot shake the feeling that I've been here before, as the stone hops ahead of me, in a way much like it has done in the past. This is a turning point. My movements with the stone become harsh and filled with frustration, and each kick sends the stone flying further and more forcefully than the time before. As caution subsides, a daemon to understand the stone takes its place. Is this the same stone? If not, will the original bring as much strife as the latter? If it is, have the stone's feelings towards me changed as much as my feelings toward it? The thought of the stone feeling for me even a fraction of what I feel for it upsets me, and in a fit of rage I kick the stone harder and further than I've ever kicked it before. With my destination in sight, I attempt to be rid of the stone altogether. The stone has the last word, however, as it strikes an integral part of the mountain, and, like dominoes, my entire world crumbles beneath me, as one stone kicks the next. I'm buried in an avalanche of stones, each one carrying the force of the catalyst, and then some from the falling action. With the full weight of the mountain on me, I feel as though my journey has finally ended. But it hasn't. Eventually, the stones give way to one another, and I'm introduced once again to the sun. It's a striking reminder to my eyes of the journey I must take. I look up at the mountain with a heavy heart, but the feeling is fleeting as I realize the landscape has changed. The path I once took, that I had worn into the ground with countless experience, no longer exists, and all that stands before me is a graveyard of unkicked stones. Alright guys, well, if you enjoyed it, give me a like. If you have something you need to talk to me about, go ahead and put it in the comments. If you would like to hear more of my stuff, hit the subscription, and if you would like me to show up directly in your subscription feed, go ahead and ring the bell down there. Have a nice one, y'alls.